Board to order. Is there a motion regarding the agenda?
Like that.
Mr. Coolidge moves to approve. Mr. Giles seconds. I have a change or two. One is we have an executive session on the agenda regarding Ask Me, which is one of the employee unions that the town employees belong to. And Mr. Atherton has, since this agenda was posted, also been contacted by the police union. I'm getting feedback, sorry. So I would like to include both Ask Me and NEBPA in the same executive session motion. That's the New England Police Benevolent Association. Any objection? Okay. And then, Dave, did you want to have an additional executive session regarding contracts tonight?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a quick one if we could.
Okay, so if we could add a second executive session, it will be also a two-motion executive session, and it will be regarding a contract to which the town is a party, an open contract to which the town is already a party. And it will be under the same citation, 1 VSA section 313A1. Any other changes to be made? Okay. All in favor of the agenda as it's just been amended, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. That's unanimous. The ayes have it. We have minutes to approve for the select board meeting of November 9th, and then the two budget workshops of the 11th and 17th. What's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion to approve the select board minutes of November 9th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Giles to Mr. Wyman's motion. Any errors or omissions in the November 9th minutes as submitted? All in favor of approval of the minutes for November 9th as submitted, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it. That's unanimous.
I move that we adopt the select board budget workshop minutes for the 11th and the 17th.
Did we lose Doug Bailey?
I'm afraid we did, and he may be the third.
Okay. So the 11th and
There,
17th.
Doug, he's back.
Doug's back. Okay.
He's trying to come in with his video because he wasn't able to get his video on a moment ago.
Okay. So Mr. Giles has moved to approve the Budget Committee workshop minutes of November 11th and 17th. Is there a second? Doug, can you hear us okay?
Having
Doesn't
trouble.
sound like he's hearing us okay yet.
I'm hearing you, but I'm not getting my camera working.
Oh, okay. So there's a motion from Mr. Giles to approve the Budget Committee workshop minutes of November 11th and 17th.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Giles says aye. Bailey says aye. Hopkins says aye. Any opposed say no. Abstentions?
Aye.
Mr. Wyman abstains. Where was Mr. Coolidge?
I'll abstain on the 17th.
Abstaining on the 17th and approving on the 11th?
Yes.
Charlene, did you catch that all? Sorry, that was complicated.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I could have done that separately.
I forgot. Yeah, that was, they weren't the same. That's great. Thank you very much. And item 3, the town manager's report. I'll turn it over to Mr. Atherton.
Good evening, everyone. It's my report for the weeks of November 9th and November 16th. Segment 6, the bridge slab membrane was installed last week. The area was backfilled, curbing installed, and sidewalk was prepped for a concrete pour today. They'll be doing one more pour tomorrow. And the road has been temp paved and both travel lanes are open. So there will be permanent pavement done in the spring when the asphalt plant's open again. So that'll get milled and redone and line striped and crosswalks come spring. So road's open and seems to be holding, so that's a good thing. Other happenings, we're denied the grant for the bike ped grant for Union Street Sidewalk. The reason was due to a high volume of applicants. They had $1 million to give out, got $6.8 million worth of applications. So I did at this time say we'll apply again next year, but actually this week I'm applying for the Transportation Alternatives Grant to see if we can go down with that one. So it's due Friday. Hopefully we get it in, and we'll go from there. Attended the Rutland Region Transportation Council meeting on the 19th. The topics were the municipal road general permit that we have to renew every year, which didn't require a fee until this year. It's like $240, I think. And we have to do that for our road erosion inventory. And regional project prioritization updates. For those of you that don't know, that the Transportation Council actually rates projects within the county as to, what are prioritized for the class ones. And it actually has some clout with VTrans. So pretty important. Obviously we feel pretty good because all of ours are done. So, that's one of the things we do on that council. Tim Giles and I had a Zoom meeting with Efficiency Vermont on the 17th. The meeting was, I thought, productive. We'll be looking into some inexpensive ways to make the existing buildings at the highway department efficient as possible. However, the consensus was that it might be advantageous to pursue the new building option, which I think we all know, but there are some things we can do, some small stuff, and just to, get us through, which is definitely going to save us a little money. So, I'll be meeting with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers on December 1st to start a flood loss avoidance study. This is going to be a joint effort with State Hazard Mitigation, and we were chosen for this study due to our past flood mitigation projects. So this actually started back in the spring, and with obviously everything going on, we're just getting back around to it. So that's pretty exciting that we're still seeing some folks interested in helping us out with flood mitigation. We received another local option tax payment in the amount of $52,574.83. This was for the quarter covering from 8/11 to 11/12, although Seth and I have talked about this a little bit, and we think it was probably the third quarter installment. Yeah. So the way they had it on the sheet was a little different. And as a reminder, our next budget meeting is Wednesday, December 9th at 6 p.m. Rec news: due to COVID, we have had to suspend the following programs: Brandon 4th through 8th grade cheer and table tennis at the town hall. Mr. Moore met with Gene Collins of the RNESU about the rec being able to facilitate indoor youth programming at school. It is not out of the question, would depend on where we are with the Vermont Department of Health guidance. Partnered with the Brandon Area Chamber of Commerce to expand the holiday light decorating contest. The Gifts Galore promotion headed by Stacy Moen of the Brandon Area Toy Project that was scheduled for the town hall on December 6th has been turned into a virtual event that is COVID safe and will allow for kids to shop for their parents. And that is all I have tonight.
That's great. Thanks, Mr. Atherton. Anything from the board for Mr. Atherton? Questions or comments from the board for Mr. Atherton? Tim Giles shakes his head no. Brian Coolidge? Tracy Wyman?
Nothing.
Nothing from me. Doug Bailey?
Nope, not as a report.
Okay. I do have a letter, Dave, from Marble Valley Regional Transit. Did you also get this? It's their annual request for the. Okay. So this came to the board, but it also came to you.
Yeah. I gave it to Jackie. I think we've already put the numbers in that's the intergovernmental thing. So.
Yes. Yep. Excellent. Questions from the public for the town manager? I see we have not a large crowd tonight, but anybody tonight with any questions or comments for the town manager? Now is a good time.
Brent Bueller has his hand up.
What's that, Bill?
Brent Bueller has his hand up.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know that. Brent Bueller, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Quick comment. Regarding the flood evaluations, I've contacted the gentleman with FEMA that's we were given as a contact, and I've never received a response as to how they're coming on the reevaluation of the floodplain here. And maybe if the town requested an update, we would be better off. I'm still listed in an A plane, which is very expensive. So I'm looking forward to the reevaluation. But again, I'm not getting any response from the gentleman that I was given to contact. So could the town request an update, please? Possibly?
So, Brent, when I went to the seminar on this, FEMA did say it was probably going to be a five-year plan to get it done. You could actually request a notice of map amendment, which you would have to do as a landowner. And it's called a LOMAR, and you just look it up. If you go to FEMA's website, it's on there. And what they'll do is come out and reassess where you are. And I don't know what's going to change with the overflow culvert there or not, but that's one way that you could take a stab at it if you don't want to wait for 4 more years.
Oh, okay, Dave. And you said it's LOMAR as in LOMAR or something?
That's called a LOMA. I can look it up, but if you go to FEMA's website, you'll see it. It's a notice to request of a map amendment. And they just come out and resurvey your flood situation. And like I said, the culvert might change it. That would be the only thing I could see.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a vast improvement, the culvert. So, yeah. Okay.
Give me a shout if you need help with it, and I can direct you to the.
And it's my understanding that the surveyor was out at the mobile station last week, and he said from his readings, the road plane is like 4 feet less than it used to be. So that would be a flood thing as well, I would imagine. So yeah. Hopefully there's something.
It's going to be based on the elevation of your property.
Right.
So, yeah, the culvert was supposed to change some of that in the downtown area. So, but it doesn't hurt to ask for them to, resubmit it and take a look at it.
Right. And I've had the floodplain done and submitted with my insurance, but I can't get anywhere until FEMA recertifies it or something. So Thank you. I'll give that an effort. Appreciate it.
So Dave, you're saying this map amendment can be done in the interim before the actual map is redone for the whole town?
Anyone that's in the floodplain can do it.
That's good info to have out there for the public. Yeah, because there's probably a few properties, maybe not a large number, but it's probably a handful of properties that might benefit from that rather than wait for the whole process of the remapping to complete.
Yeah, there was someone up on River Street that I think just went through that. One of his friends actually, and he'd talked about it a couple times. So I'm pretty sure they just went through that map amendment thing, and it worked out for them.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Brent. Other questions or comments for the town manager from folks who are at the meeting tonight? Okay, we'll go ahead and move along. The next item is public comment and participation. This would be to not specifically for the town manager, but perhaps for the board or announcements or that kind of thing. So anybody with an item that doesn't appear later on the agenda that they would like to discuss right now. I'm looking to Mr. Moore, who's hosting, to see if there's any hands up that he knows about.
Yeah, can I step in?
Oh, Doug Bailey, great, thanks.
I've got 2 quick things I just wanted to ask the town manager, not on his report. There's a broken lamp pole on the south end of the park there at the end of Park Street. Is that, we must know about that, and it must be being fixed?
Yep, it's already here. It needs to be installed. We're waiting for the globe to show up.
Okay.
It was hit by a truck and covered by their insurance.
Cool. Okay. And then the second one was regarding planning for the next budget meeting. You said we got the option money, and I was wondering if by the next options meeting, the next budget meeting, December 9th, if it's possible to have what the fund balance is on the option money, and if we've got at that date any ideas as to how much of it we think we're spending on segment 6. Maybe we still don't know.
I can tell you how much is in it. I was expecting someone would ask. There's $588,606.42 right now. As far as segment 6, I can tell you something else that shows in the warrant for tonight is the grant anticipation note is due on December 1st, which will be paid in full, and we don't foresee having to use that again because we're wrapping everything up. So, Sue and I have been talking, it looks like, the majority of what we have, probably all of it right now, of our option money will go to the books on segment 6.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Great question, great answer. Tim Giles.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure that Brent saw the chat. Bill Moore just really instantly created a link that you can use to get your floodplain answered. So Brent, did you see that chat?
Yes, I do see a chat. Thank you.
Just want to be sure you saw it.
Thanks, Bill, for finding that so fast, and thanks, Tim, for pointing that out. Other comments or participation tonight that before we go to other agenda items? Okay, if not, there is always opportunity for public comment during every agenda item. So item 5 is the Swampla bid results. I'll let Mr. Atherton please announce that to the board and his recommendation, if any.
Well, it's not going to take long because we only received one bid from the Nature Conservancy, and I can read what their thing was, or just brief it for you if you want. They bid $200 on parcel 1, $235 on parcel 2, and have agreed to cover the legal and advertising fees not to exceed $1,265. And they would like to close no later than March 31st, 2021.
Do they pay taxes, Dave?
Nature Conservancy does. They'll pay it on the, well, that's already at the lowest value anyway, because of swampland. So,
Right.
they will pay some taxes on it.
Thank you, Mr. Atherton. What's the pleasure of the board on the bid from Nature Conservancy? Dave, am I adding it up right on the back of my envelope here? $1,700 is the total, including the purchase price and the legal and advertising fees?
Yes.
Yep. $1,700 for the 2 swamp plots that the town advertised.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept the bid.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Doug Bailey. Is there discussion?
I guess I'd say it's a very low bid. However, they're swamp lots, and I can't imagine that we're going to do anything else with them. So unless somebody has another plan as to how they would bring in more money than that amount and them paying all the closing costs, I'd love to hear it.
I think this process was started with some interest from Vermont Fish and Wildlife, and they elected not to make the bid, not to submit a bid. Perhaps after our bid process, and having them pay the fees and so forth was made part of it. I don't know. But anyway, that was the only other interest that we had expressed on this, right, Dave? And that was the initial interest, right?
I had one other person, or a couple that was interested in it, and I think the attorney fees are what scared them away.
Okay. Further discussion then? If not, are you ready to vote? All in favor of the motion to accept the bid of the Nature Conservancy for the swamp lots as they were outlined by the town manager, say aye.
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 That's unanimous. None opposed. Thank you. Item 8, the fiscal. There's a warrant and a Route 7 construction warrant. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'd make a motion to approve both.
Mr. Wyman moves
A
to
and B.
approve both warrants. Is there a second?
Second.
Second for Mr. Giles. Any questions on any of the items in the warrants tonight? No questions? Okay, one thing just to note is that the first warrant is very large because of the school payment, but also because of the grant anticipation loan payment that Dave highlighted earlier in the meeting. So those two together are $1.75 million. I bet. Any questions? If not, yeah, question, go ahead, Doug.
We're paying that grant anticipation loan off by using money from reserve or using any segment 6 money or MPM money, or where is the funds coming from to pay that off?
We bonded for it twice.
Okay, so it's coming from, okay.
Yep.
Other questions? If not, ready to vote to approve. All in favor of approval of the two warrants, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Any abstentions? That's unanimous. The ayes have it. Before we do the executive sessions, I do see we've got Representative Butch Shaw here tonight. Butch, did you have any announcements or anything you wanted to share with the community?
No, just hanging out, Seth, actually. Thank you. However, just to let you know, the legislature is struggling in ways that we can meet in January. Meeting on it again tomorrow. And it appears that we're going to still be doing the same type of process that you folks are doing right now. Especially with the increase in COVID cases in Washington County. So that's kind of where we are now. And we're all hoping that we see another stimulus package out of Washington when they finally become ungridlocked, if that's a word. That's it.
Thanks very much, Butch. Any other announcements from anyone before we go into the motions for the two executive sessions? Okay, if not, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And I ask if there is a motion to find that premature general public knowledge of the pending contract negotiations with ASCME and NEPBA will clearly place the town at a substantial disadvantage. Is there a motion? Mr. Wyman moves. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Coolidge. Any discussion on that? All in favor of finding that, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Is there a second motion to enter into executive session to discuss the town's pending labor contract negotiations with ASCME and NEPBA under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of the Vermont statutes?
So moved.
Move a motion from Mr. Wyman. Second from Mr. Coolidge. Any discussion? Not. All in favor of entering executive session at 7:23, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Okay, so we'll do that. Charlene, oh yeah, Tim.
Charlene said something.
So in your executive session, is it to include Dave and Chris?
Dave, definitely. I don't believe the police chief.
Okay. Right.
Thank you, Chief Raquel. for attending. Yeah, so Dave will be in it, and Dave or Tracy, I guess, will take the times down. And
Okay.
this is very, very early, so I don't anticipate we'll have any votes to make after. It's just kind of the initial setting up of the renegotiation of their contracts.
Very good.
Well, thank you, Charlene. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And Brent and Sherry, you're still on. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And Bill.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to you all.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday.